Hi, I'm Kevin Holdsworth, and I'm a computer science major at Illinois State University, and I worked with the infrastructure team for my internship in 2017.
Hello, my name is Eric Oster. I am going into my junior year at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. I am studying statistics and computer science and music technology.
Hi, my name is Nick Johansson. I'm a computer engineering major from the University of Illinois, and this summer I worked as a data science intern under Gilly Shama, and specifically on Project Amelie.
Let's go to see the stars and the moon. I'd fly far into space as long as I am with you. The light in my bright eyes when you're near. The fluttering I feel in my chest when you are here. I can't explain this kind of love. It pulls me to you, I want it, I can't get enough. So share this precious life with me. Just take my hand and let's enjoy the things that we'll see.
So the infrastructure team is trying to create an integrated tool set. So in order to help them with that, I created a web page that would access environment information on MariaDB, and the server for MariaDB would be in a Docker container, and then I put that web page on a Tomcat server running on a Docker container. And so one of the reasons we use Docker and MariaDB is because MariaDB is open source and Docker is a DevOps tool. And so that's sort of the basis that infrastructure wants for their integrated tool set.
Well, I prototyped a modification to the proprietary artificial intelligence system. It incorporated a custom lemmatization function to reverse conjugate word tokens to their atomic form. And these lemmas could be vectorized into the functional pipeline to classify documents in Spanish.
So what was Nick's project?
Oh, I think Nick taught a robot Spanish.
I also worked on some data extraction utilities for automation tasks, and I did some text classification analysis.
The project I was assigned to consisted of creating a testing automation suite for turbocharging, which is Amdocs' backend system for processing cell phone usage. I used a testing automation tool called Cucumber that allows you to easily create simple to read and execute test cases and scenarios that could be used on any single testing environment. This helped Amdocs backend developers by providing an easy way to avoid doing manual testing and also to build a framework for doing environment sanity checks.
So in order to complete my project, I had to learn a variety of technologies. And most of the technologies that I did learn during my internship, I had no previous experience in. I had to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ajax, jQuery, and some other web technologies. I didn't know anything about MySQL databases, so I had to learn MySQL for MariaDB. And then I also had to learn how to use Docker, which is a DevOps technology that lets you spin up like really lightweight virtual machines. And those were the only technologies that were directly used for my project, but I did also play around with some other tools because I had the time, and the infra department was actually messing around with some other stuff, so.
I learned a lot about Java. That was what I used to implement a lot of the backend for the testing. I also learned about Maven, which is a project management tool. I learned about SQL, which was used extensively to interact with the databases in my testing scenarios. In addition, I learned a lot about how telecommunications work in the back end, such as using diameter protocol to send online events such as voice calls or data usage. And most importantly, I learned how to work with the team and communicate and basically create a tool that would be useful for others to use later in the future or anywhere.
I learned a lot about natural language processing and using a natural language toolkit as well as scikit-learn to do some document classification using all those utilities as well as other data science libraries that exist for Python. How was your experience at Amdocs?
At where?
Amdocs.
Oh, is that what the company's called? Okay. Yeah, well, my experience at Amdocs has been really good so far. I got to learn a lot of different technologies. I got to see how my skills that I learned at school will apply in real world situations. And I got to eat a lot of animal crackers, so I would say that it's been really great.
My experience at Amdocs has been really fantastic, I gotta say. I've learned so many new skills that I'm gonna be using a lot in the future. In addition, there's all these fun events we got to do, such as the 4th of July party, the trip to Lake Shelbyville, and also the fun intern event where we got to see Superman and go spend a bunch of the company's money at a fancy restaurant. Overall, a great experience, and I can't say there's gonna be another internship just like this.
I'd say that my experience was really great. I had no experience with natural language processing when I got here, but everyone who I worked with was very patient, very willing to help me out and explain things to me. Very knowledgeable people here. And, overall, I'd say it was a great time. I learned a lot. I worked with a lot of cool technology, and yeah, I had a lot of fun.
So some advice that I would give to a future intern?
My advice to future interns would be
don't be intimidated by some of the things you'll be working on. They'll feel kind of overbearing at times, but they're much more approachable than they seem.
Well, I would say ask a lot of questions. Don't buy any goldfish or animal crackers out of the vending machine because they had that for free on the counter in the break room.
would be to not be afraid to speak up and ask for help. There were a lot of times where I'd get stuck on something and I can't figure something out, or it's just something just does not make sense to me. And instead of just waiting or being stuck, basically, go ask. Don't be afraid. Ask questions.
Ask questions. You'll be working with a lot of really polite people, a lot of people willing to answer even your really simple questions.
The Jimmy John's across the street is a corporate building. They don't like it when you go in there and order food. I would say split your work into tasks and work through like a few tasks a day.
Don't be afraid to just like run some code, try something different, or maybe just be a little creative with it.
Try to gain a broad understanding of the division you're working for. Don't dawdle at all. Like if you really have a question, go and ask it immediately. Utilize all your resources. You have a lot of knowledgeable people at hand. And don't be afraid to take an opportunity when it arises. I didn't know anything when coming into this internship, but I had the opportunity to learn it and then perform. So.
Thanks, Amdocs.
Amdocs.
Amdocs.